We're here. It's the final episode of the Only Honest Movie Show this season, and it snowed today. It snowed. What can make this better? Oh yeah, Avengers. Oh, that's not me.
No, hi.
Oh.
That's Ben and Josh.
The best.
I'm Tom Capone. There you go, Brian. You took the right camera. There you go. We have a great panel this week, as you already saw. We have Josh and Ben. Over there, we have Aiden and Joey. It's going to be a great show this week. It's all Avengers Infinity War. So, first up, we'll be doing a bit of a non-spoiler review. So first, guys, in order to start this off, we can't talk about Infinity War without talking about Marvel in general and how important and how good Marvel has been over these last 10 years. How much they've built up this universe.
They've had their faults, like i.e. Thor 2, Iron Man 2, but they've also had some
Iron Man 3.
all of the Iron Man except for one. But they've also had their shining stars like Winter Soldier. The first Avengers, honestly, is always takes a place in my heart, and now this one, it honestly blew me away.
They've just honestly they've just grown. You know, they've grown in terms of content and maturity, and a lot of the times, like in the beginning, like we were saying, like how a lot of times they had their faults and they had their missteps, but they did take those opportunities and they learned from them, and they really kept delivering hit after hit, and they kept seeing where they could go and how they could improve, and then Black Panther, you know, that was I didn't think anything could be better, and then Infinity War, oh my God.
What about them? You guys anything to add to the Marvel conversation before we jump in?
I think Marvel's getting better and better. It's been 10 years of insane character development, new characters being brought in, you know, just so much going on, but it all connects so well, and I'm very, very surprised. But great.
Roller machine.
Yeah, and I don't want to use this opportunity to like bash DC, but like other studios, you've seen other studios try to do the whole shared universe thing, but none of them have succeeded the way Marvel has, because they grow. They, like as you said, they've like started off small, like just with the first Iron Man movie like 10 years ago, and no one could have guessed this is where we'd end up. So they grew, and like they introduced the characters and the setting, and like they do that to like, and they pulled you in with that, and so they could pull this off through that.
So much respect has to be given to Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios, who has ushered. He's one of the main creative forces behind the Marvel universe.
I think he sleeps.
No, he's not.
No.
But he's also trusted some great directors to make these films, such as the Russo brothers, who came in with Winter Soldier, which I just had my mind blown by that movie. These guys who made
They're from Community.
Yeah, Community invested in development,
Great show.
and they made a political thriller, Jason Bourne, Captain America movie.
Such a good spy movie. Like you don't need They don't need a superhero with really big superpowers to make a really good superhero movie.
Yeah, then they go and expand to what basically was a Avengers movie with
The test run.
Yeah, with Civil War, and now they directed Avengers Infinity War. They directed Avengers 4, and I have to say they knocked it out of the park again. Infinity War is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like just so also with bringing talent back, they brought back Alan Silvestri to do the score. There's a moment in Infinity War where that original Avengers theme kicks in, and I was fist bumping. I was ready to
In
go.
the first trailer, I was like,
in the first trailer,
I love that theme
When they
so
brought in a
much.
certain fight scene, it was building. I was like, ooh, yeah, the goosebumps are coming.
But I think like one of the interesting parts about the movie and the score is that like it plays at like certain moments and key moments, but it's not like so prominent, you know. Like I took that to mean like, oh, you know, the Avengers are fighting, but they're not really in control. They don't really know what they're up against yet, and I think that was like a really interesting way of showing that. But those few moments where they did have, like I think in the ship when Spidey was knighted, I think that was one of the times where I think that was like a perfect moment. So it could signify like, yes, he finally did it. Like he was what he's been trying to do since when he first appeared in Civil War, and he finally reached that goal, and I think that was a really cool moment.
Yeah, so I think it's safe to say we all loved this movie, right?
Yeah.
We all loved it. It all
One of my
lived up
favorites.
to all of the.
It's I think it's my
Shattered
favorite
Your
expectations.
favorite?
of the Marvel movies. Yeah.
It's one of my
Ooh.
favorites. It's top 3.
Love is a
Almost
strong word.
Yeah.
I mean, it has its moments. Like for me, I think one of the weaker moments, one of the weaker aspects of the movie was some acting wasn't that great for me. In particular, like I won't say any particular scenes or anything that gives away, but I think there's a part where Chris Pratt could have shown a little bit more emotion. I think for the most part, there are some really solid performances here. I think Paul Bettany was criminally underrated. I think he really portrayed that anxiety and that fear of, like, he knows what's going to happen, he knows what he has to do, but he's an android, so it's complex, so I think that was really cool. And we were talking, like, Tom Holland, I think, delivered one of the best performances, and in the last scene alone, I believe, and I was talking with Ben about this, that he outacted pretty much everybody, and it was such an emotionally impactful scene, and I don't remember the last time I felt that emotionally distraught.
Well, one of the things that Infinity War does so well is it handles all the characters in it so well. Every character in this film gets at least a moment. No characters left out a moment where they shine. Now, of course, some characters get more moments than others, but every character gets that moment where the spotlight is on them, where they are able to have that chance to shine. So does anyone think that there being too many characters showed?
I mean,
I don't think so.
in a sense, I guess, because like you said, some characters were underserved in the movie, but that's just the nature of this movie. I think, like you said, every character got a moment to shine, whether it's a single moment and it goes away. Like, they got, like, no character was just like of the characters that are in the film, none of them got sidelined. And like, some characters honestly surprised me with how big of a role they had.
Yeah.
But I think, like, they managed to maybe it's not the perfectly balanced film, but they managed to balance this movie out pretty well, considering there's like 20 main characters you have to deal with at least.
And
Well, they know how to use their characters. They know how to, like, make sure they're not too important, like, not all on the screen, but like they know how to introduce everybody. They know how everyone should act, and it's just like, it was a really nice melting pot of all the superheroes coming together.
And luckily, nothing really felt rushed either. Like, everyone had like enough time to kind of like get their character on screen. No one was ever like, okay, we gotta do this thing right now so we can get other people on screen.
Well,
it just kind of felt
They
natural.
also had the benefit of, like, being developed for 10 years, so that, I mean, this movie very heavily relies on the fact that you're going into this knowing what to expect from, the way these characters act and interact with each other. And I think, if you go into this without really knowing it, I personally think you'd be suffering a little, but for the most part, I think the Russo did a good job at making sure that people understood where they were in this whole universe.
All right, so I'm tired of talking without spoilers, so we're gonna take a quick break.
So hard.
We're gonna come back, and it's gonna be full-on spoilers, no filters. We can say whatever we want, just don't curse. I don't want to edit again.
Gosh darn it.
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Danse, balance-lui la cadence, ondule bien tes hanches, au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence, dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're gonna be hanging out a little bit more.
Run, Austin, run! We're gonna talk spoilers right now. All right, so now that our lovely floor manager Austin is out of the room, we're gonna dive deep into full-on spoilers.
There are spoilers ahead, guys.
Yeah, spoiler.
Full-on spoiler warning. If Brian wants to bring up the spoiler review graphic, that'd be wonderful to warn people. There you go, Brian. All right, so I want to start off talking here. The very first scene. All the Asgardians are dead.
No, half.
Half, yeah.
Ah, that's right, half. Sorry.
Still don't know where Valkyrie
Half.
is.
Yeah,
Valkyrie,
Valkyrie and Korg.
Oh,
And
Korg!
Meek.
I mean, Sif's like she's still off doing her
Yeah,
own
she
thing.
hasn't
She's
been
probably
seen
not going to
since
be in
Stark
another
World,
movie,
so I have
but
no idea
Oh
where
yeah,
she
she
is.
wasn't even one of the Warriors 3 that got killed.
Yeah, she
No.
wasn't in
she wasn't in Ragnarok at
No,
all.
at all,
But-
yeah.
All right, but
So-
we need to talk about Thanos beating up the Hulk.
Dude, he was
So-
straight up,
okay,
like
yeah.
MMA style.
They
They
spent like 6 years hyping up this guy, and immediately in that first scene, they showed him this guy is a threat. Like
Yeah.
you need
That's-
to be scared of
That's
him.
definitely
You
how
can
you
take down Hulk in literally
establish
less than a
like
minute.
a threat. Like you that's how you establish Thanos as the big bad. That's why he's been hyped up this whole time. And the fact that, Banner, Hulk and Banner had that whole conflict afterwards. It was so cool to see that Hulk was actually impacted from that whole encounter, and we've never ever seen that. The Hulk is supposed to be this large and in charge entity and one of the most powerful people, and he got showed up.
Hulk was terrified of Thanos. I loved that whole subplot of Hulk refusing to come out. He wouldn't even face the Black Order.
Yeah, I know.
He was just nope. And I can't see how they continued that subplot in Avengers 4.
Yeah. Maybe
And then
we'll
so from this opening, R.I.P. Loki.
Aw.
R.I.P.
Heimdall.
Heim.
I
yeah,
saw it
R.I.P.
coming.
Although,
Heimdall.
like,
That was
I
sad.
called that entire first sequence though. Like, I knew in the first 10 minutes, I knew he was out. Like, that's
See,
it.
I was kind of hoping like Heimdall would do what he did with Banner and just teleport a whole bunch of people up. I wasn't expecting him to sacrifice.
I thought he was gonna bring Thor and
Yeah.
Hulk
Yeah.
to Earth, but I knew Loki was gonna like try to pull something.
I
and,
knew
like,
I knew
that
Loki was
everything is-
doomed.
It's
like when
part
I
of his
watched this
character.
movie.
I was just thrown off by how graphic Loki's was. Like I thought it was just gonna
Yeah.
be like a quick snap or whatever, but he was like.
And because of the way he showed it, I think this is permanent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Which
no,
is like,
yeah.
and because he's such like one of their most popular characters in the MCU, and like people have been
And
camp like
he failed Thanos in the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah.
Thanos is not going to let him
No.
get away with that.
Thanos
And
will
He
not
even
be
said like
tolerant.
I have experience on Earth. He's like if you count failure
Yeah.
as an experience.
And,
I love
and,
subtle dig.
and so then from this whole opening, we go to Thor with the Guardians. Give me the Thor and Rocket movie
See.
right now.
Right?
I love
Honestly, I
all
love their
interactions.
interactions.
he needs to be a member of the Guardians. Like he's better with
Yeah.
them than he is with the Avengers.
Every time Thor called Rocket Rabbit,
Yes.
that was hysterical.
See, to me, like once it got to like 4 or 5, I'm like, he really doesn't know what a rabbit is, or a raccoon.
I didn't care. I just
Neither
thought
does
like,
Rocket.
this
I was
is
like, dude, you've
hilarious.
been on
He
Earth
just
like
kept
twice.
calling him Rabbit, and Rocket was just okay. That's fine.
I think for the most part, like Thor's arc in general is my favorite.
He's
I
definitely
just
the strongest Avenger at this point.
Well, yeah, definitely. Well, now because Vision's gone, but I really think that it really showed that everything that happened in the past, in Ragnarok, and having to kill his sister, just watching his brother die, his father's dead from Ragnarok
his
too.
people
It's
are-
half his people, like he's really feeling this, and I think the emotional development really shines here, and I just loved Thor in this.
he fought a star.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
I like that whole scene where Thor is talking to Rocket, and he's like basically telling like everyone I know is dead. Rocket keeps lifting off people, and Thor keeps going dead, 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 dad, dead, sister, dead, brother, dead,
It
mom,
kinda
dead.
It reminds me of the scene from Ant-Man when Paul Rudd's driving back from jail. And he's like, so I was like
Yeah.
the family. He's like, oh yeah, everybody got deported, but I got the truck.
Yeah, yeah.
And as going off like what I said about Loki, like you just have because like Loki's resurrected himself before, or like faked his death, whatever you want to call it. And but like he just like there's this sense of like he knows this is it in this movie, which is like even sadder because like he literally has no family left. No, like he has no one left.
He even said it. He even said like, "Oh yeah, he fooled me once. So he technically died the first time, but I think this time's for real."
Yeah.
So he acts like he's not affected by it, but like you can tell he totally is.
He's like trying to put up that front, you know. He's a god and he doesn't want to show weakness, obviously, and that's what makes it so impactful. Like that tear coming down while he's talking with Rocket. It kind of reminded me of Rocket's interactions with Yondu in Guardians 2.
Yep, and all right, so then now going over back to Earth, seeing Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man all together.
I love
those were another interactions that I loved. Just Iron Man and Doctor Strange just traded off egos, going back and forth.
Oh yeah,
it was fantastic.
It was nice seeing someone finally compete with Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Someone's head
the
being as
goatee,
big.
man.
It's facial hair brothers.
And then every pop culture reference Spider-Man made.
You ever seen the old movie Alien?
Kid, I swear, there's no more pop culture references for you for the entire trip.
Just Tony Stark going full on dad. Dad
that's what made the ending so much sadder.
I mean, we'll talk about that later, but that made like the ending scene even more because like this whole movie established like he does
figure.
care about this kid, like he looks at him as a son.
And same thing
like,
from Homecoming, you know, like he was really like, hey, I mean, at first I was definitely with Homecoming. I was definitely like, I don't really want Tony being the father figure. You know, that's Uncle Ben's role. But I think it really worked in terms of they established it then, and then they carried it out through Infinity War. And I think that was a great decision.
Also, speaking about this arc, one of my favorite lines from the entire movie was when they finally like came face to face with the Guardians, and they had the entire. Where is Gamora? I'll give you one better. Who's Gamora? I'll give you one better. Why is Gamora? Like, I cracked up laughing.
Drax has some great lines in this movie.
Dave Bautista,
it's a
man.
funny movie. Like,
it is fun.
As serious as everything going on, it's still a fun movie.
It was real. It was like
it was really
it's like
well timed too.
Sometimes it's
like
funny.
in Age of Ultron, there was
sucks.
some that were really pushed. But like in this one, it's really nice.
Like the humor in this movie comes from the characters and their interactions with each other.
Tony calling Doctor Strange and Wong wizards. I think, although it was funny, I think after a certain amount of times, I was like, all right, let's move on to another joke. That was my only
Just the repetition of the wizards.
I mean, he's kind of a wizard. Kind of.
Think about it.
It would be better if you call him Harry Potter at one point.
I mean, I like the Squidward reference.
Yeah.
That was just weird.
Squidward.
It's out of nowhere.
But admit it, once he said it, you're like, hey.
I was like, I can.
I saw it so much. I was like, oh my god, he looks like Squidward. Yeah. He looks like a cross of Squidward and Voldemort to me.
Yeah. Like if Squidward lost his nose.
Yeah. And so now moving over to the third like kind of group of characters. We start off with Scarlet Witch and Vision, who admittedly in the past they haven't really been my favorites, per se, especially Scarlet Witch. She's kind of had.
She hasn't really had much to do.
She hasn't much to do, and her accent has been terrible.
Yeah.
Her accent just
in this when she just
kind of
no accent, whatever. I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
I instantly like you so much more.
Well, it opens up directly with like the romantic tension, like it's full on now. They're in a fully developed relationship, and you know, like going into this movie, everyone knows what's gonna happen to Vision.
It's due.
Yeah,
he has a stone.
That's something they play off really well. Like they're like, hey, you know, we're gonna give you a lot of Vision, but
but I think that
come to grips with this.
That wouldn't have been like as great as it was if it wasn't for their relationship, because like you actually felt
it adds like a human element to it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, Vision is like this god tier creature. He literally has an Infinity Stone in his head. But the fact that he has this like relationship and this love with Scarlet Witch kind of humanizes it. And like when ultimately like he does die, like he originally sacrificed himself. Yeah, he starts off sacrificing himself, then just gets straight up murdered. It adds like this like human element and this human element to which makes it even more tragic.
And going off Scarlet Witch, like we really saw like a different part of her. Like she's had to see her brother die before, but like she actually had like
she never dealt with that. Though.
Yeah, like,
that's what made me mad about that. But
all right, so we're with Scarlet Witch and Vision. Two members of the Blackwater show up. They fight. They are fighting for the streets. So I admit it was a good fight. But the moment of this scene is when they wind up in the train station. The Blackwater are facing them down. A train passes by. In the background, you see a silhouette.
Their theater
instantly.
cheered. The theater
Yeah.
cheered.
Well, I knew
Yeah,
it was. I knew it was gonna be
Yeah.
Cap.
The Avengers theme starts to build in.
That's as
And
soon as I heard that, I
I'm
was
going-
like, ooh,
That was
man.
Yes.
a fantastic moment.
Yeah.
I
Such a
really-
great use of soundtrack.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I really think they utilized their score so well with this, and that moment. I mean, like, even though we all did know that that's Cap, and like, it's just yes, we finally get to see.
Walking
you know,
out of the
at that point,
shadows.
it's like what, like a half hour has probably passed.
It's a long
Close
time
to
without
it.
seeing. It's a
Yeah,
long time
so
without
it's
seeing
like,
him.
all right, this whole time was like, where's Cap? Where's Cap? And then finally, it's like, all right, now we can rest easy.
You know,
knowing-
it takes so long for like characters like even Captain America to show up because none of them are the main characters. Thanos
Yeah. Oh,
is
yeah.
the main character here, and Thanos might be the best MCU villain. Originally, I thought it was
Killmonger?
Yeah,
I think
Killmonger
Killmonger
from Black Panther. Was that Thanos gives him a run for his money?
It's like the same situation as Killmonger. Like, you don't technically sympathize with him in the way you did with Killmonger, maybe, but you see where he's coming from. You understand why he's doing
Like they're
what
talking
is-
from experience.
You
Like, they're not
see-
just being
yeah.
like, what if?
And they do give him, like, going back to the Vision, they do humanize him with his relationship with Gamora, which we'll talk. I'm assuming we'll talk about later.
I'm glad you brought that up. 'Cause
Yeah.
we should talk about that now because that to me was all right. So Thanos winds up getting 3 of the Infinity Stone. He has the Power Stone, the Space Stone, and he gets the Reality Stone. When he gets his hands on the Reality Stone, he gets his hands on Gamora. He takes her off. She winds up giving him information on where the Soul Stone is. So they go to the Soul Stone. And I was so happy Marvel could keep this cameo secret. When they're talking to this hooded figure, he lowers himself, comes out of the shadow. They're like, Red Skull?
Why?
Yeah. Red Skull.
Well, see, yeah, I do agree with you on that a little bit.
See,
I loved
I
it.
really liked it.
Right.
It was that little like Easter egg for Marvel fans.
And I think it's good for him to be there because he has no feelings.
Mm-hmm.
He is exactly in the place where he should be because he's protecting the Soul Stone.
And we saw him at the end of First Avenger just beam off to somewhere
Yeah.
after the Tesseract.
Yeah,
so like
see,
it
I
makes
always knew he
it
was
makes
alive.
sense that he ends up in this area, and like it's the worst possible fate for him. Like he can't die, and he cannot.
He can't even use
He
any of the
can't.
power that he's
He
protecting.
does none of this power. He can't take over the world like he wanted to. It's a tragedy.
So all that is followed up by the scene where Gamora goes. Thanos. They feel for
That's
Thanos here.
the most impactful scene, I
They-
think, because like you were saying, it does humanize him, you know, and we're starting to really see that there are motivations that you can understand behind this, and the fact that the fact that like Gamora is the one person that he actually cared for, you know, that was really important.
There was a drawn out scene too, which like
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like
Yeah.
they took
Again,
out
the
like the
soundtrack.
score just overtook. There was no like other sounds, and it was just and then you don't see her falling, but then you see her on the ground, just like
Yeah.
See, I was like, oh, they're not going to actually
Alright.
do it. And I saw it.
All right, so sorry to cut you off, but so as Thanos is in charge of the Black Order, I'm in charge of this show. So I'm going to make the executive decision right now. We were supposed to talk about what will come next because there's still so much to talk about in Infinity War. After this quick commercial break, we're going to come back and talk more about Avengers Infinity War. So we'll see you guys right after this break.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Danse, balance la cadence, ondule bien tes hanches au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence. Dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou, ton
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Oh, we're on.
All right, so we're back. We'll continue our spoiler discussion of Avengers: Infinity War. Because I thought we'd have plenty of time. I thought we could get through this. Like, I gave us like 12 minutes. I was like, okay, that'll be fine. Nope.
It's a 3-hour movie.
That is true. I should have thought about that. All right, so now continuing on from where we were. So Gamora is sadly gone. This is one of the she's one of the deaths that I think will stick.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
See,
I'm not sure.
I think everybody pre-snap is dead. Like, that's it.
First off,
Yeah.
I think the whole like thing with Thanos being a great villain is the fact that he's not a sociopath.
Yeah.
And you can tell because he actually has feelings. That's what makes him so good. But I think that Gamora and the Soul Stone are kind of linked now.
I agree with that, yeah.
We see that at almost towards the end. You know,
I think
after
she's gonna take Red Skull's
job.
Yeah, I think now like she is
been
trapped
replaced.
there. Like that's it. I don't really see like if they do bring her back. I think it completely negates all of the emotions and everything. And I think that would be a really awful move on their part.
Technically, in theory, I doubt they're going to do this, but they could reverse the entire thing.
They could bring everyone back.
Could. Yeah, they could.
So, I don't know. I don't think
That's
they're going
the- yeah.
to, but I think Loki's done.
I think
Loki
he's
and
too.
Hal are
yeah.
probably off.
But I don't think Gamora is
I've
toast.
agreed with that. Because I mean, I don't know if they'll bring her back to life completely, but I think there's no way they're just gonna leave her dead like that.
I
Because,
definitely think they're gonna incorporate her somehow, but I still entirely think she's gonna be alive.
Avengers 4 obviously will come out, and then Guardians 3 is gonna come out too.
Yeah.
So obviously it's gonna factor in this somehow. Because
Well, I mean,
we did get that final scene that one scene between Peter and Gamora, which I thought was a great scene, but we never really got to see their final moments together,
Yeah.
which I think that they're going to do that and factor that in somehow.
Alright, so now in the plot, we move into very much the big third act climax with the battles on Titan and the battle of Wakanda. The battle of Wakanda, I think, is fantastic. This is Marvel's Lord of the Rings battle.
I think it was a little lackluster compared to and I know, unpopular opinion. I think compared to everything that was going on in Titan, just because I feel like there were higher stakes on Titan. With the whole Wakanda scene, I just think it was just a big fight, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, you're fighting these grunts, whatever. It doesn't really have its weight until the end, you know. And so that's why, I think everything that was going on Titan was just so. It just built up that tension so well, and I was just so on the edge of my seat there. But when they went for me, when they went back to Wakanda, it relieved that tension a little bit. And so I mean, again, I think it was done. I think it was done really well. Visually, it was pretty spectacular, but it just didn't hold the same weight for me.
So yeah, so to talk about the whole battle on Titan, I love seeing Star-Lord, Iron Man, Doctor Strange all trying to form a plan. And so we're a little bit cramped on time is what I'm told. So I want to jump to kind of the end here to where Thanos almost kills Tony, and Doctor Strange gives up the Time Stone.
Yeah, I thought Tony was gonna be gone.
What is everyone's reaction to that?
He knows something we don't.
He said there's one ending where they succeed.
And he said this was the end game.
He saw 14,605 different outcomes. They only won one. And when you followed up that with the scene early in the film where he tells Tony, if it comes down to you, the kid, or the stone, I'm protecting the stone every day of the week.
Yeah. So he knows the stone is either one, safer with Thanos, which I doubt, or it'll be safe in the long run.
My whole thing was I saw Tony needs to be alive for them to win. That's how I saw it.
Tony needs to be alive, and yeah, I agree with that. That's why he gave up the stone to Thanos in order for Tony to be alive, and because he probably needed to assemble the gauntlet, and as is revealed at the end of the film, leave pretty much our entire OG crew alive. And that scene when Thanos comes for Vision, and it's slow motion and normally slow motion is terrible in movies, but with Thanos taking out everyone in slow motion.
Literally, just within seconds, just yeah.
I thought that's where Cap was going too.
I know. As soon as he went
I was
that,
no,
I was
please,
oh no.
Please don't do this to me.
It's so important to realize it reminds me of the first Avengers movie when they're all scattered in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They're on different planets. You know, I've got Iron Man on Titan. You got Steve Rogers in Wakanda, and they're all like in different places. If they were to be together, things might have been different.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But like this is what symbolizes the remake and the okay, we have a problem with the Avengers. Obviously, we have to take care of it. We have to like get our stuff together.
yeah.
And so guys, one of my favorite moments of the film is when Cap comes sliding back in front of Thanos for round 2. And Thanos reaches out from him and he grabs the gauntlet. And he grabs the gauntlet in that trailer shot. It is fantastic.
Oh.
I just genuinely thought that was it for him. I was getting really nervous, but I going from here, I feel like there's so many different ways they can go. I feel like it's so open, and it's I haven't really like had one of these kind of experience since like the end of well, I don't really want to spoil that. This one scene from Game of Thrones that you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but that was the last time I was like, what can happen now? Like, where do we go?
That's what my friend asked me. He was like, wait, he's got everything now. Like, how are they gonna even destroy him, even when half of them are gone? Like,
Yeah,
weird.
so
trying to tell the words.
and the moment of the snap.
Oh,
is
that.
fantastic.
As soon as he said, you should have aimed for the head, I was
should've
like,
went for the
oh
head.
no.
I didn't even think like about that. Like, and I was like, oh my god,
And
you're
it's
right.
like it was so quiet too. Like you thought it was just gonna be this big cataclysmic thing, but it's just him and I mean, it's going through of like what we all agree is maybe the Soul Realm, just him and child Gamora, little Gamora.
Yeah.
And then he's gone, and then you come back and it's as if nothing happened. So it's like, did he actually win? Did it like what happened? And then one by one they start disappearing.
So yeah, we're going a few minutes long here, but what I want to know is, obviously I think everyone from the Snap is coming back.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any ideas on how?
Well,
I think they're in a
Captain
different
Marvel
realm.
probably.
Yeah.
I don't think they're
probably in the
dead.
Soul
yeah,
Stone.
in the comic, it's like Death has a realm, and I think instead of like having, since we don't have an established Death, I think maybe having someone like having them all be like in this soul realm, and then like maybe introducing other characters like maybe Captain Marvel or
We know
Silver
she's
Surfer
coming.
or someone.
Going off of that, because in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, which is very much based on Adam Warlock is
Yeah.
That's what I was
living
confused
in the beginning. Adam Warlock's living in Soul
In the Soul Stone.
in the Soul Stone in Soul World. That's why I think everyone is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe even Gamora, and that could be how she's still alive because Thanos sacrificed her to get the stone. She's
That
in
makes
Soul
sense.
World
That makes sense.
along with everyone. If they do bring it back and they bring it back that way, I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll be fine with that. That's why I think everyone. I think everyone got sent off to Soul World, and in Avengers 4, I think it's gonna come down to all the OGs will need to give their lives for everyone else to come.
Definitely Cap and Tony,
Yeah.
I'd say, or gone.
Either or, yeah.
I think it has to be one of them at least.
Yeah, at least one.
I'm just like, what you're going back about saying about the Soul Stone. I can't freaking talk right now, but I don't know why it wasn't as important. Like I feel like the Soul Stone's importance was kind of like.
I think it was just more
They don't
mysterious.
they don't really show you what the Infinity Stones can do outside of the Time Stone and then the Reality Stone. Like they
And the
don't.
Power Stone, you can kind of see it.
In a way, but like they don't really like establish how big of a threat, how important these Infinity Stones really are when you use them.
Yeah, you see like a little bit of like the time, like you see like the different colors in battles, but they weren't really explained.
We actually don't know how the Soul Stone
We don't know what the
works.
Soul Stone does.
Yeah, I looked it up on Wikipedia. It just says it could like maybe resurrect people from the dead or communicate with souls. Maybe.
Exactly.
I think no matter what, the Soul Stone's going to be an important part moving forward in Avengers 4.
For sure.
And so I'd like to thank you all for being here for my final episode of the Only Onto Movie Show. It's been a fun couple of years, guys. Steak, I'm sorry we went on long, but this is still my show. So don't get any ideas for like the next week or so. All right, that's it. Good luck on finals, everyone. Brian, roll the credits.